Focusing. Hey, everybody, Economic Ninja. I hope you are doing great. I got some information I want to bring to you right now because so many people want to know how I invest. And one of the big ways I invest is through private placements. I like to buy stock off market, being able to get a discount to the premium. I also love warrants, and not a lot of people understand how those work. And I'm going to bring you a real life example right now. I've worked with this company before. It's Infinitum Copper, and I have Steve from Infinitum on. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm doing real well.
Awesome. So right now, the reason why we're doing this video is because you have a private placement that, as of the going out of this video, is going to be live, and you are raising $1 million, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Perfect. I want to use this as an example to teach people what a private placement is. So would you mind explaining what is a private placement? What are warrants? What is the value? And how do people take part in private placements?
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing about private placements is this is money that actually goes directly into the treasury of the company. So it's a way of getting your money to work, as opposed to just buying stock out of the market where you're just trading dollars with another investor. You can actually make sure that your money's getting into the treasury where they're going to be able to go and do their exploration work, in our case, and be able to create value and advance the stock.
Nice.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, and then there's a bonus along with that, right? Not only does the money go directly in for financing the day-to-day operations of what the exploration company is doing, in your case, Infinitum, but also there's a bonus, right? A warrant that comes along with that.
That's right. That's usually what happens in a private placement is you get not only a common share of the company, but also a warrant. And a warrant is basically an option that you have. You can hold it, exercise it, or not exercise it. But if the price of the stock goes up, then you've got the opportunity for a set period of time to actually purchase more stock at a future date at a preset price. So it's a really good way of leveraging your investment.
Great. Now these opportunities aren't open for everyone. I want to make people understand this. And if you're not in this position, I want you to start thinking of how to get there in life, because we want to invest like the wealthy people invest. And wealthy people invest off market, right? They get a premium. So first question about that, Steve, is the private placement, like, what's the stock trading at right now? Because we know this is a micro cap, $6 million US right now, or around about, and you're raising $1 million, right? So should bring that up to about $7 million US. But what is the stock trading at right now? I guess we'll talk Canadian dollars. And what's the private placement at?
Yeah, we trade mostly on the venture exchange, Toronto Venture Exchange, and our last trade I think was at 16 cents. We're actually doing the offering at 13 cents, so it's a discount to market, and that's another incentive for the investors to actually invest in the private placement. The reason why private placements aren't available to everybody is the securities folks like to put in protections to make sure that the people that are investing in them are sophisticated investors. So guys that have, or people who have experience investing in the market and actually understand the comings and goings of what goes on with the junior sector, which is more risky, of course, and also potentially higher returns. But the volatility of that market makes it not suitable for all investors.
I couldn't agree more. Now, I became an accredited investor when I was in my early 20s. I was actually 25, 26, so I guess late 20s. And there are different requirements. There's actually a list of requirements, and you have to check off one of any of the boxes. And it differs from country to country. In America, I hit it on the either yearly salary, 2 years or more of a certain amount, or a net worth of a certain amount or more. So I don't want to give you those numbers because it changes from country to country. So I'd like you guys to look into it. But there's also other things, like if you're in the industry as an expert, things like that. So it's very interesting. There's all kinds of different ways that people can become accredited. Now, Steve, the offering that you're doing, is it offering a full warrant? Because not every offering does offer a full. I didn't even ask you what the number is.
Yeah, actually, we're offering a half warrant. Usually what happens is some offerings will be for a full warrant at a much higher price.
Yep.
What we're doing is offering a half warrant with each unit at a lower price. So
I I love that you said that. Let me dive right. Sorry, I got to interrupt you. So I
Yeah.
didn't know, guys, just so you know, a full warrant is what a lot of companies offer to attract a bunch of investors. A company that feels very confident about their project, when they're going to raise money, they will offer sometimes, instead of a full warrant, they'll offer a half a warrant because they feel confident that that private placement will get filled regardless if it's a half a warrant or a full warrant. And this is the management team's way of holding the share structure tighter. Correct, Steve?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, the unfortunate thing about our business is we rely on doing financings like this to raise the money to do our work. We don't have any revenue in the company, so we need to continually go out and dilute our shareholder base by offering shares like this to the market. And by only offering half a warrant, we have less dilution in the future, but we'll also have a guaranteed investment coming in at some future date. If we get the stock price up above the strike price of the warrant, then people are going to exercise those warrants, and that'll be more cash that comes into the company.
Exactly. Consider it like a free secondary financing, so it works out for both parties. I love that. Now let's talk about, in closing, one of the people on your team that I really, really admire, and that's Peter McGaw. Peter McGaw is a world-renowned geologist. He has had big finds before, and he's been. Can you tell me his background in this project?
Yeah, well, Peter is, in my mind, the world's leading authority in carbonate replacement deposits. I've been working with Peter since 1997. We first worked on a project in northern British Columbia together. And, Peter is very famous for working in Mexico because that's where he did his PhD thesis. And he studied the largest carbonate replacement deposit that was known in the world at that time, the Santa Eulalia system. And Peter knows the geology of northern Mexico very, very well. Now, he first got involved in this project, it was over 30 years ago, when the original prospector that had held it for decades was getting too old to continue to work his claim. And he actually sold it to Peter and his partner at the time. Peter has been peripherally involved in the project since that time. He actually was involved in having the project optioned to another company that we optioned it from. And, he identified it a long time ago as being a very worthwhile project. And he's never forgotten about it. And he brought it to our attention as a good prospect that we could get involved in. And that's exactly what we've done. And of course, it's great to have people like Peter involved in the company, because they're the people that understand what success looks like. Yep. And, he saw the hallmark features in this project that indicates it's a good project. It's working out very well for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for explaining that, because I love identifying winners on teams. It's a big deal. Well, anyway, wrapping this up, Steve, is there anything you'd like to close in? Because I'm going to put a link to your website below. That's the best place people can find out if they want to take part in this private placement, correct?
That's absolutely right. We're going to have a news release that'll be posted on the website. And so that's the best way to access the information directly. I just want to say that the reason why we're doing this private placement at this time is just to make sure that we keep our field crews doing what they do so well. We've got a crackerjack team that has had a lot of success so far in 2022 down at La Delita, and we want to make sure that we keep them fully employed out in the field, boot leather on rocks. That's what finds deposits, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks very much, Ninja.
All right. Well, hey, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.